Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Marcy. Thank you for clicking on that thumbnail. Always showing up, showing your girl some love. So you guys, today I'm going to give you an updated review on my favorite fragrance house. You all know, if you've been following me, Xerjoff was my favorite fragrance house for a long time, for at least about 4 years. And then I started to fall more in love with Ex Nihilo fragrances. They're exquisite, they're elegant, sophisticated, and they speak of luxury. So if you want to hear about my top, actually my only 13 bottles of Ex Nihilo, plus I have 3 samples. We're gonna go through this in a timely manner, and then I will link my old video down below. Please continue to watch, like, comment, subscribe, turn on those notification bells and all that good stuff, y'all, and let's get this party started. So, all right, I'm super excited to bring you guys this review because I love me some Xerjoff, but slowly over time, I've fallen in love with Ex Nihilo. They have a boutique now. The only boutique in the US is in Los Angeles, California. And I'm super excited because whenever there's a new release, I get to visit the boutique. I get to visit Jennifer and her team. They are all amazing and I absolutely love them. You guys know that during a Glamcation, which is a small fragrance event that we have out here every year, which is gonna be held in Vegas, in August, I think. Go follow the, I will link Glamcation Instagram page and go follow them for updates over on Instagram. We had a party there, and you know, a lot of people fell in love with Ex Nihilo fragrances as well. So, and I know a lot of my friends do not have any Ex Nihilo fragrances. A lot of my YouTube buddies don't have any Ex Nihilo fragrances. So hopefully you can find something that you fall in love with just as I did. So we're gonna start with a new release, and this one was gifted to me. So the very first one we're gonna start with is called CHANDIGARH EXPRESS, okay? Now this fragrance is masculine leaning, okay? Not completely masculine because I would wear this. This is a leather fragrance. This is a warm, spicy fragrance. And to my knowledge, CHANDIGARH is an area in India. And this speaks of all of those warm, spicy, I would say, scents that you get from that part of the world. On top of, I'll give you guys, let's just open up the fragrance. I have worn this already once and I've tested it twice to be exact. So, you know, all of Ex Nihilo, they come in this sustainable package. So you guys will not be scared to throw away the package because it is literally paper and foam, which is like recyclable. So anyway, it slides out like this, and the fragrance is housed in here very securely. I've never had any problems, even when I purchased from like Lucky Scent back in the day, or maybe Bergdorf Goodman. I've never had any problems with a package break, with a bottle breaking. The top is very secure. Now, a lot of their tops, they come with like the marble or pearl, which are real stones, but this one just comes with a plain top. So this is CHANDIGARH EXPRESS. So y'all, let's get into the notes. Like I said, this one is slightly masculine leaning, but very fresh too. And ladies, if you want to get into a leather fragrance, I think this would be one that you may want to sample. Sample these fragrances first, you guys, because literally, or going to Bergdorf Goodman in New York, I know they have an Ex Nihilo, I would say like a counter inside, which has just about all of the fragrances. Now in CHANDIGARH EXPRESS, off top, I remember it being aromatic, woody, fresh, citrusy, warm, spicy, slightly sweet, and a little leathery, but very smoky. So in this fragrance, you have your leather, cardamom, citruses, mandarin orange, green, you get some Davana, and you get some benzoin, tonka, sandalwood, all that good stuff. There's something in here that makes it a little creamy too. I know Ex Nihilo likes to use a lot of narcissus in their fragrances, but this one doesn't. So maybe it's just the sandalwood. So anyway, the bottle, sorry, my hands are a little oily. The bottle has this dark hue. Now this is an EDP and they come in 100 mLs. So in CHANDIGARH EXPRESS, when I initially spray this, I get those mandarin citruses. It's very balsamic. It's a little aromatic, slightly earthy from the Davana in here. Now, I do love the note of Davana in fragrances. AI the Great, she has Ambrosia Imperial, has like a Davana in that fragrance, and I absolutely love the Davana with the sweetness. So in here, you get a prominent note of Davana, some bergamot citruses. It's fresh, aromatic, a little earthy. And then that leather kind of like is there on the skin, very light, airy, and fresh. Not a heavy, dark leather. It almost smells like a very refined, fresh leather. Now that leather comes in with that warm, spicy cardamom and makes it very fresh and warm, spicy. Now, the leather in here is not very prominent to my nose, but if you are sensitive to leather, then you may be sensitive to this fragrance. I'm very sensitive to all leathers, but I would say like a moderate dose of leather in this fragrance because all of the other notes kind of balances the citruses, the Davana, the sandalwood. They kind of balance that leather out and makes it very smooth and refined. Now, the cardamom in this fragrance is very prominent. The cardamom, the citruses, and the greenness from the Davana is very prominent. Now, what I get from this fragrance, because I love cardamom, I love a fresh cardamom tea, anything cardamom, a cardamom coffee, like any of that. I love cardamom. So when this fragrance dries down, you literally get a very fresh, slightly woody. That leather turns very smooth. It gets warm, spicy. It becomes very woody and smoky. So in the dry down, I really don't get the leather anymore. I get more of a tobacco, woody smokiness on top of that fresh tea and the citruses. Now, if you like Mimo Paris's Winter Palace, just add a little more spiciness, just a little more smokiness, because Winter Palace, you definitely get those Mandarin notes, and you get a tea note as well. I think it's is it rooibos tea? It's a red tea. You get a red tea in Mimo Paris Winter Palace. Then I think you're gonna like this fragrance. I love Winter Palace. It smells of earthy, citrusy tea, slightly sweet and vanillic. Now this one is not as sweet, okay? But anyway, I literally get a smoky, almost a smoky tea scent, smoky cardamom tea scent. That the greenness is giving it a little bit of an earthy tea. But anyway, y'all, it's beautiful. But like I said, in the dry down, literally I get a citrusy, smoky, fresh, airy tea with a little bit of greenness, you all. So anyway, CHANDIGARH Express, get your nose on this only if you like the fragrance that I mentioned and the notes that I mentioned. Otherwise, definitely test this fragrance because it is not blind buy worthy, and it is very aromatic, masculine leaning, very fresh. And like I said, it's giving me tea vibes, okay? So anyway, the bottles are gorgeous. I love Ex Nihilo's exquisite bottles. So I'm gonna put that back in the package. So let's go on down the line, y'all. So the next one we're gonna start with is, let me smell this. Gorgeous. This is Blue Talisman. This is one of my favorites from the line. It is warm, it is spicy from the ginger, it's fresh. There's pear orange blossom in here as a white floral. Absolutely unisex. There's vanilla in here. There's some ambroxan in here, or ambrofix in here, that makes it very fresh. Now this smells a little blue to me as well. I don't know what's in here that's making it smell a little blue. So that's why I think men would absolutely, ladies, you would love this fragrance because of that, a little bit of that sweetened pear, the ambroxan, the orange blossom, that makes it a little fresh, slightly sweetened and powdery. And men, you're gonna love it because it gives those like blue fragrance facets, salty blue fragrance facets, very fresh for the summer, on top of some fresh ginger. It is absolutely gorgeous. I love this. Yeah, you guys, a little bit of a dent. This is literally gonna be one of my most amazing fragrance, summer fragrances. And you can wear this all year long, but the freshness, the sweetness, the muskiness as well. It is a musky fragrance, but absolutely unisex. Blue Talisman. If I ran out of this bottle, actually, I'm buying me a bigger bottle, and we'll see what happens with this bottle over the summer. I presumed that Blue Talisman for the summer summer will be halfway done, and then I will invest in a 100 ml bottle. But in this fragrance, you have your Akigala wood. That's what it is. There's Akigala wood that makes it a little warm, spicy, woody, fresh. I think I said ambroxan or ambergris, but I think it's the Akigala wood in here. Pear, ginger, orange blossom. It is absolutely stunning, and a white musk. Get your nose on this blue talisman. All right, so the next one we're gonna talk about, maybe I'll just go in order so I don't forget anything, y'all. The next one everybody knows and loves, and this one is absolutely beautiful, feminine leaning. Somebody asked me before, I don't have any ex nihilo fragrances, so what should I start with? If you are a fresh, fruity, floral girl that likes a powdery vanilla, a powdery fragrance, let's see, like Narciso Rodriguez Poudre, mixed with a little bit of pear, peony, lychee, beautiful. It smells orange blossomy. Then you're gonna love this fragrance. It's musky. There's some peach in here. So anyway, FLEUR NARCOTIQUE is beautiful. So I say if you are a woman and you like those, you know, feminine, fruity, pretty girl fragrances, then definitely start with FLEUR NARCOTIQUE, the EDP. Okay, now we do have a FLEUR NARCOTIQUE Extrait. Okay, the Extrait, I actually love them both. Now the Extrait, I purchased over, it comes in the black bottle, and I purchased this one over at Harrods. But I think you can find the Extrait out here as well. Now the Extrait smells just like the EDP. It's a little heavier, it's not as fresh, and it's not as airy. It's a little sweeter, a little more powdery. It can be cloying in the summer, so do not wear this, well, you can wear what you want to wear, but you know, the florals to me are not as prominent in here, even though I do get a little more peony in here. I don't get as much peach in this fragrance, fresh, airy peach. So like I said, this is literally FLEUR NARCOTIQUE on steroids, a little more powdery and more projecting, and it is a beast, you guys. So if you want something that is, I still say start with the EDP and then move on to the Extrait if you're obsessed with the EDP. Literally the same notes, but heavier, stronger, more in your face, and a little more powdery. Anyway, this is the FLEUR NARCOTIQUE, the Extrait, and this bottle is actually blue. It looks a little black, but if you can look through it, you can actually. It's a dark blue hue, and it is gorgeous. So the next one we're going to talk about is Sweet Morphine. Now this was my very first ex nihilo fragrance, and this one had me jump into the fragrance house. I will list the review down below. I'm not going to go over the story about this fragrance again, but I ran back up to the store to get this one the next day, y'all. So anyway, Sweet Morphine. Now they do have the sweetest morphine, and I do have a sample. I have 3 samples that we'll be talking about as well. It didn't make sense for me to buy the sweetest morphine when I still had sweet morphine in my collection. Oh, I'm looking for the names, you guys. So this one is, if you can see it, the sweetest. You might not be able to see it, but anyway, this sample is the sweetest morphine, and this is the sweet morphine, and this is sweet morphine. So I love this fragrance. I love iris now. Okay, back then I just knew that I love lilac. I love mimosa. I love the yellow floral. I love vanilla, and I love musk. Okay. Now, a lot of people may not like this because it's heavy on the mimosa. And to me, mimosa can smell a little more medicinal, mixed with iris or lilac. So to me, the sweetest morphine is not as, I'm not sure, it doesn't have as much mimosa in the fragrance, so you don't get a heavy dose of mimosa and lilac. Literally, this fragrance, the juice is darkened. Oh, and truth be told, or what I was told, is that they are not, if you find the sweet morphine and you really like it or have ever wanted to own it, you better snatch it up, because the sweetest morphine has taken its place. Sweet morphine will no longer be on the market, you guys. So the sweetest morphine is not necessarily sweeter. It's just a little lighter on the mimosa. It's a little more fresh. It's a little airier to me. Let's go ahead and spray this again. So it comes like this. their samples. And I'm going to go ahead and spray the Sweetest Morphine on my skin. So they do have the 10 mLs for sale at the store in Los Angeles. So like I said, it's a little more floral. The Sweetest Morphine, it's beautiful as well. It's a little more floral, and to me, it's really good, you guys. I think I may have to get the Sweetest Morphine. You don't get as much mimosa, so it's pretty. And it's not medicinal like sweet morphine with that heavy mimosa, giving it a little bit of earthiness and greenness, making it slightly medicinal. But you guys, the Sweetest Morphine is beautiful as well. So I say, if you like those notes, and you don't like, if you like a heavy mimosa, go with sweet morphine. But if you don't like a heavy mimosa and you just want it to be a little more irisy, lilac-y, a little more fresh, floral, pretty, less medicinal, then you may want to go with the Sweetest Morphine. But the Sweetest Morphine is just as pretty, you know. Anyway, you guys, like I said, I don't know if I gave you all the notes in here. So in here, you get your mimosa. I didn't write down all the notes. I get the rose in here. Definitely the rose and mimosa, which are pretty predominant. The iris, the lilac. So if you like those notes, yeah, you get a little more rose in this fragrance here, you know. Yeah, and you get a little more mimosa in here. So it's sweet, it's feminine, it's elegant, it is beautiful. But like I said, this one's a little more, this one is slightly medicinal. Not a little more, because I don't get that medicinal scent from the Sweetest Morphine, which I absolutely love. Anyway, get your nose on this one. This one's a little more powdery. The Sweetest Morphine is a little more airy and fresh. All right, so the next one we're going to talk about is... let's see, Amber Sky. Now, Amber Sky, I was not a super huge fan of, but Amber Sky, and I was able to tailor the fragrance to my liking, which is called Collections Signature. I kind of liked Amber Sky, but it was a little too masculine for me. So guys, if you like Amber Sky, or if you like the notes of Amber Sky, then you need to get into that fragrance. And a lot of my male counterparts, they love Amber Sky. Rico at Fragged Out Swagged Out, Joe at Unaveraged Joe, they both love Amber Sky. Now, I love Amber Sky with an additive of iris in here. So I was able to go into the Los Angeles boutique, make this fragrance that you can tailor it to your liking. I'm going to be doing another review soon over on Instagram, and I may be able to offer you guys, you know, some type of incentive. Okay. Anyway, details will be coming in the near future. So I decided to get Amber Sky. When I tested it and smelled it with Orange Blossom, with oud, with so many other raw materials that they had in the store, when I tested it with iris, it was absolutely amazing. So Amber Sky, it's a creamy coriander. You have your nutmeg, vanilla, tonka, amber, cedar, geranium, and sandalwood. When I tell you this is one of the sexiest fragrances I have in my collection, it is absolutely gorgeous. I wore this to Scent Explore in New York this past December, and I got so many compliments. But that added iris in here to make it a little more sweet, vanillic, powdery, ambery, a little woody, but it literally leveled the feminine game up of Amber Sky. So you get a lot of vanilla in here. It's very ambery. You get that tonka bean in here as well. It's beautiful. It almost smells like a beautiful, lush, airy, fresh iris, vanillic, sandalwood, just with a beautiful, rich, warm amber, you all. Coriander, of course, makes it a little sweet and creamy. So I love Amber Sky with an additive of iris. Men, you guys might like Amber Sky alone. Alone, it's a little more woody. It's a little more heavy on the amber. But like I said, the iris really did it for me. So, and this is part of the Collections Signature, where you can go in and tailor your fragrance to your own needs based on the selection of fragrances that they do have. So yeah, get your nose on this one, or Amber Sky with an additive of iris. All right, so the next one we're going to talk about is Brompton Immortals. Now, I'm going to make sure I'm holding up the right one, you guys. So This is so, so, so sexy. Amber Skywood Iris, Brompton Immortals, Ex Nihilo, the Extrait, they're all gorgeous fragrances. So anyway, this is Brompton Immortals. So in Brompton Immortals, you have your saffron, pink pepper, there's some benzoin in here that I smell off top. You have your rose, vanilla, white musk, and olabana. So this is warm, spicy saffron. It doesn't give that like huge leathery nuance. This is that warm, spicy, balsamic saffron with that sweet vanilla. It's airy, fresh, powdery rose. Y'all, anyway, Brompton Immortals is gorgeous, feminine. So ladies, if you love a rose fragrance, if you are that fruity frou-frou, you know, fruity frou-frou girl that wants something pretty, sweet, feminine for the summer, try the Ex Nihilo EDP. If you want something a little, still that fruity, sexy, warm, spicy, that love rose girl, that love saffron, then you may want to try Brompton Immortals. Brompton Immortals, if you love rose, you guys, you're going to love this super sexy, alluring, seductive fragrance. And y'all, it is absolutely gorgeous. If I ran out of this, I would absolutely run to go purchase Brompton Immortals again. It is amazing. It is, like I said, it's super alluring and it's a banger, you guys. And I don't even say the word banger, but this one right here is amazing. All right, so the next one we're going to talk about is OUTKAST Blue. Now, this one is unisex, masculine leaning, but I love it, you guys. So I've worn this a couple times. Now, if you like Initio's Oud for Greatness, then you're going to love OUTKAST Blue. To me, OUTKAST Blue is a very refined, sexy oud, slightly, it's better than Oud for Greatness, you guys. Let me correct that. This is OUTKAST Blue, the Extrait, because there is an OUTKAST Blue that comes in the clear bottle. So this is the Extrait, and it is absolutely amazing. I never smelled the OUTKAST Blue EDP. So it comes in this dark blue bottle as well. The bottles look black, but they are actually blue. So if you like fragrances, like I said, like a little bit of Oud for Greatness, if Oud for Greatness, you do love it, but it was too sharp for you, too in your face, too bold, too unrefined, then you're gonna love this one. This one, like I have Oud for Greatness and I literally need to declutter it because I don't wear it, because I would totally reach for OUTKAST Blue before I reach for Oud for Greatness. Now, in this fragrance, there's saffron, there's black pepper, there's oud, there's tobacco in here, there's some vanilla, there's sandalwood, and let's see, it's a little powdery, it's warm, it's absolutely stunning. And yes, there's some Lily of the Valley in here too as well, which makes it a little, I would say earthy, just a fresh white floral, earthy and a little green. Like I said, there's tobacco, oud, musk, pink pepper, saffron, sandalwood, and some other things. The oud in here is very friendly to me. It is not oud heavy. It just gives you a very lush, just unisex, masculine leaning fragrance. Very warm, but the saffron to me, the saffron and I would say the tobacco in this fragrance, if you like a saffron and tobacco and a musk, it is the star, they are stars of the show, you guys. So like I said, this is refined. It is not a dupe by any means, okay? But this one is, because OUTKAST Blue, I think that was out. The original OUTKAST Blue was out long before. So this is a beautiful, beautiful fragrance that you definitely need to test. But to me, I would say for some women, this would be considered masculine leaning. I don't spray this heavy. When I have worn this fragrance in the past, this is definitely for fall, winter, rain, snow, all of that will cut through ice, okay? When I wore this fragrance, I wore it at night and I wore it in the fall and the winter, and I only sprayed it 4 times. Oh, I just bit my lip, you guys. But it is very lush. It's very exquisite, sophisticated. And y'all, this is just like, this is a woman in a black dress, a sexy black dress with some heels on it. This is a man in a dark, beautiful, like pinstripe suit, you guys. This OUTKAST blue is absolutely gorgeous, but do not blind buy this fragrance. Definitely sample it first, you guys. It's gorgeous. And when I smelled OUTKAST blue, I knew that I wanted that fragrance in my collection. I think I smelled it and then I went back to get it. And I purchased that one from out here. They have Ex Nihilo boutique, or not a standing boutique, but a in-store boutique. They have it in, I think I purchased that one from Bloomingdale's. That's what it was, Bloomingdale's. So the next one we're going to talk about is Explicit. Now, I do have Explicit, and this was like my third or fourth. Trying to make sure I'm picking up the right one. That one's Venenum's Kiss. So, in Explicit. Now, to all of my feminine fragrance lovers as well. To me, Explicit leans a little feminine, very elegant, slightly sweetened. There's praline in this fragrance. But it is beautiful. It's creamy, it's floral, it's praline. Every time I smell these fragrances, they just smell so exquisite, you guys. So in Explicit, you have your, I put on here sweet ambery rose, okay? There's some praline, nutmeg, there's some pink pepper in here. That makes it a little warm spicy with that creamy sandalwood. There's peony, Patalia, and vanilla. So literally, you get the freshness of the pink pepper. You get some fresh, airy rose. You get some sweet praline, almost smelling a little caramelish. But I absolutely love this. Which one would I choose over this one? If it was this one or Brompton Immortals, I do love Brompton Immortals more. But if you want something a little sweeter, not so sexy, could be a signature scent, very airy. You can wear this 365 days a year. Then you may want to go with Explicit. It definitely has more vanilla, a little sweeter, and it gives you almost a slight gourmandish leaning facets to the fragrance, you all. Anyway, Explicit, and this is an EDP. Explicit. The next one we're going to talk about is, I guess, Atlas Fever. Atlas Fever, I have a sample of. This one would probably be my next full bottle once I go through this one. I love Atlas Fever. I think there's coriander in Atlas. Anyway, it gives you vanillic. This one almost gives you tropical vibes. You know, like Xerjoff Ouverture gives you more of a figgy sandalwood, but it makes it a little coconutty tropical too. This one is very ambery to me. It's slightly tropical because it's giving me a creamy vanillic coconut vibe. Creamy vanillic powdery coconut. So in Atlas Fever, I wrote down here, it's woody, it's ambery, and it's sweet. And it gives you like a powdery vanilla. It's incense, red berries, narcissus, vanilla, tonka bean, sandalwood, and oak. Now, it states red berries. Now, I'm wondering if it's pink berries, like pink pepper. So, I'm assuming it does have like a fruity nuance to it, but pink berries or pink pepper gives me a fruity nuance as well. So, maybe they switched out red berries and it's really pink peppers. I don't know. But it definitely gives you that fruity pink pepper or red berry. It says red berries. I'm going to call it what it is. Red berry nuance. But it also gives you a creamy, vanillic, ambery coconut vibes with a little bit of woodiness. This one is completely unisex, powdery, vanillic, woody, slight warm, spicy in the opening, and I love it. Atlas Fever, get your nose on this one. Totally unisex, okay? Amazing for the fall and the winter and maybe like spring nights, okay? Or spring in general. So the next one we're going to talk about is, let's talk about the Irreverents, okay? You guys know that this is in my top 10 for life. I think, yeah, this, love, 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 the Irreverents. Love it. Okay, it's so ambery, caramel, saffron, warm, spicy. This one to me is probably, aside from Santal Calling, which I do not have, Santal Calling, it's musky, it's fresh, I think there's some nutmeg and a milk note in Santal Calling, which was an EDP, and Sandalwood, okay? Santal Calling is a very, I guess it's a little more linear and simple compared to a lot of these fragrances that I do have here today, but I definitely love Santal Calling as well. So anyway, this one right here, Irreverence, warm, spicy. I purchased this over in Harrods, okay? So in the Irreverence, you have your saffron, pink pepper, caramel, jasmine, vanilla, tonka, and there's some ambergris. Literally the notes, okay? So you get a predominant note of ambery caramel, okay? Ambery caramel, vanilla, and the freshness from the ambergris and the saffron. This one is in my top 10 for life, and I absolutely love it. It is slightly gourmand leaning. There's another fragrance too that's gourmand leaning as well, which I consider in my top 5 ex nihilos that I love, and we're gonna talk about that one. But this one's fresh, airy, smooth, a little creamy, caramel, vanillic, powdery. I absolutely love the Irreverence. Get your nose on this one. So the next one that I absolutely love, and that is slight gourmand leaning. The only thing that not annoys me, but kind of bothers me a bit about some of these bottles is that you can't see through them. Like this one right here is Venenum's Kiss. So let's just talk about Venenum's Kiss since I already have it up. So this is the old bottle. These are the older bottles, you guys. So you can literally see the name, but it's not embossed. It's just printed there. So it's kind of hard to see when you pick it up. But now I think they're all coming out with this little silver plaque so that you can actually see the name easier on the fragrance. So Venenum's Kiss is a beautiful, sexy, green, spicy rose fragrance, okay? I have something else in my hand, you guys. So, and Venenum's Kiss, you get some Artemisia. Now, if you like fragrances, I would say, what is it? Scherzo Miller Harris. I decided to get Venenum's Kiss instead of Scherzo Miller Harris. This is Miller Harris. You get a little more of that tangerine fruitiness, and this one you get a little more nutmeg, vanilla. It's more green. It's a little more warm, spicy from the pink pepper and the saffron. But they're both similar fragrances. Now, which one do I recommend as far as like rose fragrances from the Ex Nihilo line? Now, Brompton Immortals, I absolutely love. So I would totally take Brompton Immortals over Venenum's Kiss. But I do love the freshness of Venenum's Kiss and the greenness and the warm spiciness. This one is more of an everyday rose fragrance as opposed to Brompton Immortals, that sexy date night event, upscale, whatever, as opposed to a maybe signature scent, Venenum's Kiss, or maybe a day date instead of a date night, you guys. So anyway, this is absolutely beautiful, but I don't know if I give you the notes in here. So in Venenum's Kiss, you get your saffron, nutmeg, rose, amber, artemisia, vanilla, styrax, and sandalwood. So like I said, it's a little creamy from the vanilla and the sandalwood, but you definitely get a fresh, airy, slightly powdery green rose as opposed to the warm, spicy, vanillic, very ambery saffron and Brompton and Immortals, which is super sexy. And this one could be an everyday scent, you guys. So Venenum's Kiss, everyday green rose, still gives you the warm ambery facets, a little bit of warm spiciness from the sandalwood and the nutmeg. And Brompton Immortals, y'all, just get your nose on Brompton Immortals. That's all I gotta say. All right, so the next one we're gonna talk about is one that they do sell at the boutiques. They may sell this one also at Bergdorf as well. And this one is, actually they do sell this one at Bergdorf. This one's a Bergdorf exclusive. And this is, I think it's 119 Wonders, you guys. I call it 1,019 Wonders, 119 Wonders, but I absolutely love it. If you love a good date scent, fresh, airy dates, warm spices, then you're gonna love this fragrance. This one to me, warm, spicy dates, woody, sweet, saffron, vanillic. It is absolutely gorgeous. This one to me is slight gourmand leaning like the Irreverents. So in 1019 Wonders or 119 Wonders, you have your dates, cacao, caramel. There's some orange blossom, vanilla, and almond in here. Now, you do get a little bit of that creaminess from the almond, but it is not a very almond forward. I get a lot of dates. I get some sweetness, maybe a dusty, powdery cacao. It's not super heavy on the chocolate, but I get a lot of powderiness, vanilla, sandalwood, some rich dates. It's fresh, it's airy. It smells like there's saffron in here as well. But yeah, like the Irreverents and this one, y'all, they are in the top for me because you guys know that I am such a gourmand lover. The Irreverents, this one, Brompton Immortals, FLEUR NARCOTIQUE, the Extrait, the EDP, you guys, and this one right here. The other ones I absolutely, like, I love the entire collection, okay? The other one I want to talk about is Gold Immortals. Now, in Gold Immortals, this one's definitely on my list after I finish this 10 ml. In here, this is beautiful. It's fresh. It's unisex to me, yet slight feminine leaning because of the pear in here. But if you don't like I think there's Lychee Ylang in here. There may be some mimosa in here. If you don't like a yellow floral, then I would say you may not like this one. But you get a fresh, sweet, slightly crystallized pear. It's musky. It's ambery. Very ambery fragrance, but sweetened by the pear. Now, the Gold Immortals Extrait. The opening was very ambery and heavy for me. I have a small sample of that. But it is beautiful as well. It's more masculine leaning, the Gold Immortals Extrait. So for ladies, if you want to try Gold Immortals, I recommend that you try the EDP. And guys, I recommend that you try the Extrait if you love a more of a slight fruity, ambery pear, you know, vanillic woody scent with those yellow florals inside. But Gold Immortals, when I finish this one, it is definitely full bottle worthy. Which one do I want more? Gold Immortals or Atlas Fever? Ooh, y'all, that one's hard. I would say Gold Immortals was an almost purchase for me, the EDP, not the Extrait. I almost wanted to purchase the Extrait until I smelled it. And I said, you know what? The Extrait, I'll wait on that one. I'll wear the EDP because I love the EDP so much more. It's a little more fresh and airy, and I do get a beautiful pear and yellow floral note in this fragrance. Last but not least is one that a lot of people love. Ladies, if you want to me, it's feminine leaning because it is so, so good. Now, this one they do not make anymore. I'm sorry. You may be able to find it on the like a gray market site or a secondhand site. This is Lust in Paradise. I do not have the original because I thought it was a little too light and airy for me. But they do have an anniversary edition, I think, they came out with. But this is Lust in Paradise Riviera. So in Lust in Paradise, you have your lychee, peony, petalia, and a lot of other ones. And a lot of other notes, not other ones. So you definitely get a fresh, it's feminine leaning. You get a fresh, airy floral. It's pretty, it's sweet. It's just very feminine and just playful. Amazing for the summer. Now, out of all the summer fragrances I do have in my collection, I would say Lust in Paradise, even though this is the Riviera edition, which I think has like some watery notes or some sea notes that make it a little more aquatic. I love the Riviera edition more than I do love Lust in Paradise, but Lust in Paradise is pretty as well, especially for the summer. Fruity, floral, fun, a tongue twister. Fruity, floral, fun, flirty, all of that. So yeah, ladies, if you want to start, because I know my biggest audience are ladies, if you want to start with an ex nihilo, start with Lust in Paradise and start with ex nihilo, FLEUR NARCOTIQUE, the EDP, okay? Those are my two recommendations for the new babies to ex nihilo. Anyway, this is the Riviera edition. This is more fresh, airy, oceanic take on Lust in Paradise. Some other ones that I do really like are Vesper Glitz, which also has like pink pepper, mandarin, neroli, ylang ylang. It's a really fresh, airy, feminine, very linear. It's very linear to me, Vesper Glitz, but it's a very easy ex nihilo fragrance that you might want to sample. So get your nose on Vesper Glitz, feminine leaning to me as well. Super fresh. Iris Porcelana or Porcelina, if you love the note of iris. It is absolutely beautiful. Very linear, elegant, light, fresh iris scent. Santal Calling, which I don't have in my collection. If you want a milky, creamy, slightly sweet vanillic sandalwood, which I need in my collection. And there are a couple others from the line, but y'all, that is all I have for you today. Anyway, yeah, I think that's it. That is 13 bottles and 3 samples. Go out to the world for amazing CH. Do good, be good, and love you guys. Let me know what's your favorite ex nihilo. I know I wanted to get my nose on Brompton Immortals Extrait, which is to me a feminine leaning rose fragrance, but a lot of men said that they got their nose on it. I know a couple of my other fragrance reviewers over in London, they have the Extrait. They said it's a little more masculine leaning, so I think I may stick with the EDP, but I can't wait to smell the Extrait. If you are in Los Angeles, please hit me up in my DMs, email me, but hit me up in my DMs over on Instagram, or let me know on this review if you're going to be in Los Angeles, and I can meet you up at the Ex Nihilo store. It is one of my favorite fragrance boutiques in LA. I mean, I think it is my favorite, not one of, it is my favorite fragrance boutique here in Los Angeles. If you want to go alone, hit Jennifer up. She is the regional sales manager for Ex Nihilo. I think that is her title. Anyway, call the store. Let Jennifer know you're going up there. Let her know that I recommended you guys, and get your nose on these beautiful Ex Nihilo fragrances. She has an amazing team, and they will go through the entire line with you. All right. Love you guys. Bye-bye.